What's going on, everybody? We're here at the Reef Aquarium shop, going live on this beautiful Tuesday evening. And it is wonderful outside, so we decided to talk about some pond products. Yes, it is finally time to discuss ponds. Now, everyone likes to jump the gun on this one and ask us when we're getting pond plants and pond fish in, and that those questions started like 2 months ago, and spring really happened like what, I think officially 2 weeks ago, and it feels like it happened like maybe 2 days ago. So now is finally the time to start talking about getting your ponds going, feeding your fish, getting some new plants and livestock, all that good stuff. So today, in front of you now, we have a slurry of Microbe-Lift products. Now, Microbe-Lift has more than just pond products, but we're only discussing their pond products today. Now, we also, in addition to talking about these pond products, will be treating this as an open Q&A. So if you do have any questions about what we're checking out, or the aquarium hobby in general, ponds in general, the Reef Aquarium shop, anything you have questions about, toss them in the comments at any time, and at the end of this stream, I will get to those comments and try to get those questions answered for you. So that being said, again, welcome to those of you joining in. We are talking about Microbe-Lift pond products, and probably undisputably their most popular one is going to be the one right in front of you here. This is going to be Microbe-Lift PL, but that is actually not what I want to talk about first. The first one I want to discuss is actually the Microbe-Lift Spring Summer Cleaner. Now, the reason I want to talk about this one first is honestly just the timing. It is now, again, officially spring. So this is probably what we're going to be starting our ponds off with if you haven't been using these chemicals already. Now, before I go specifically into the spring summer cleaner here, I want to state that if you use a combination of, you don't even have to use all of these products, but if you hit up this the seasonal cleaners and the PL on a regular basis and just do that religiously year round, you're going to have a gorgeous pond. We use this on all of our pond services. By the way, we are opening up pond services soon, so if you are in the Indiana area and need your pond service, go to our website, TheReefIndy.com, and you can schedule that there. So again, we use these and have our clients keep dosing these throughout the year, so that they have beautiful looking ponds all year round. So again, you don't exactly need all of these, but all of these are super beneficial, and we're going to go over why. So let's talk about, again, the spring summer cleaner first. Bring that in front of you here so you can check it out. Now, the spring summer cleaner is basically a Kickstarter. It's going to help jumpstart your pond in the spring, reduce buildup of dead leaves and residual organic sediment. All of that is going to have accumulated on the bottom of your pond over the winter. Even if you've got like a net or something over there, you're going to get some sort of debris down on the bottom of that pond, and this spring summer cleaner is going to help get that out. They are pre-measured packets in there, and actually let's just well, they are going to be air sealed, and I'm not going to, we don't have our ponds open yet, otherwise I would just pop that open, but I don't want to open the seal on that. But they're just little packets that are going to be pre-measured, super easy to handle. You just toss it in there. It's all non-toxic. And that's going to help clear out that initial debris that has accumulated over the winter. So after you are done with your round of Microbe-Lift spring summer cleaner, and it's going to give you super easy dosing directions on the side here based on the size of your pond. And you're going to do a few rounds of this. Once you are done with that, you are going to kick in with the Microbe-Lift PL. Now, again, I was talking earlier about how popular this product is. It is it is the best chemical, I suppose, in the industry as far as ponds go. You cannot go wrong dosing PL. What it is it's just a bottle packed full of bacterias. It's going to it's specifically formulated for like decorative ponds and smaller features. You're not going to want to toss this into like a big pond or anything. This is pet safe as well, so if you're worried about like your cat or dog getting into the pond, all of this is completely safe for them. But what this is going to do is going to create a cleaner environment for your pond. It's going to reduce the ammonia and the nitrogen levels, dissolve away any organic sludge, just like that spring summer cleaner was doing, only it's going to be doing it continuously throughout the season. If you are just starting your pond, it seeds and maintains your biological filtration, all those beneficial bacterias, because again, this is basically just a bottle full of beneficial bacterias that's going to help break down all of this organic matter that is accumulating and making your pond look dirty. Also reduces hydrogen sulfide, which is going to create strong odors. So if you're like familiar with the pond smell, like you go out, it's almost like a bog smell. This is going to that's hydrogen sulfide, and this is going to reduce that and not make your pond smell. Let's see here. Also going to reduce like the buildup of your fish waste, dead leaves, bird droppings. It breaks down dead algae. It's going to improve your oxygen levels and everything. So again, all around, this is going to be just an amazing product to be continually putting in your pond throughout the active season. And as you can see, this is going to come in 3 different sizes. This is the most popular size, the medium size. Comes in a smaller size for small, like maybe 100-gallon or less ponds, and then we've got the big jug in the back there, obviously for some larger applications. That's typically the size of pond that we're maintaining through the service department, is something that's going to need a large gallon-sized jug of this stuff. In addition to dosing your PL throughout the season, there's a couple other chemicals that you're going to want to keep in mind. The first one I will mention is the Microbe-Lift Sludge Away. That's this guy here. Now, this is essentially going to target the job specifically that the spring and summer cleaner and PL are getting to in a roundabout way. The Sludge Away is going to specifically target the stuff on the bottom. I've had a pond, like we'll come to a client's pond and it'll look really clear, but you can see just this layer of just a sludge on the bottom of the pond. And so this is the product we're going to use for that. It's basically going to speed up the removal of that sludge naturally. Especially if you have like large rocks on the bottom of your pond. A lot of stuff can get trapped down in there, debris, fish waste, everything that drops down into the pond or is created organically by your fish can get trapped down under those stones. So even if you can't see your layer of muck, if you have large stones in your pond, definitely be using Sludge Away on a semi-regular basis at least. So it's going to work faster in warm temperatures, but it can be used year round. But typically, I'm going to use it kind of as a booster for my spring-summer cleaner, or especially if it's a pond that has not been using these products already. That's typically when I come into a large amount of sludge on the bottom of the pond that would require this type of application. Now, if you keep up with your spring-summer cleaner and the Microbe-Lift PL, honestly, you shouldn't really need the Sludge Away unless you have those large stones on the bottom. I would use it to supplement your PL, just because a lot of stuff can get trapped down under there. Now, just as a heads up, when you do use the Sludge Away, it is super, super dark. And I guess I should give a warning about the PL too. So real quick, the PL just smells ridiculous. It's awful. It's a bottle full of farts. But that's how you know it's working. What that is, basically, the smell that you're going to get when you open this bottle is a food for the beneficial bacteria that are inside the bottle. That way you have a nice long shelf life on the PL. That way you can keep using it throughout the season, and it's not just going to go bad on you in like a few weeks to a month or so. You can be using the PL for quite a while, even after you open it, because of that really bad smell that's going to come out of it. Worth it, absolutely, but it is a bottle full of farts. The warning on the Sludge Away is that it is super dark and it can actually discolor your pond for a little bit. Now, that is definitely not a permanent thing. You're going to see the rocks along the edge kind of darken up a little bit, just because that's going to settle on the bottom so it can target that sludge on the bottom, but that will 100% go away. And then ultimately it's going to help improve your pond clarity and things like that. It's actually going to bind phosphate as well, which is a little known thing about Sludge Away, which is going to help keep algae away as well. Now, speaking of algae, let's talk about the Algaway 5.4. Now, this is hands down my personal, at least, favorite algae remover for a pond setting. And they actually have this for tank setting as well. This one is specifically for ponds as far as the dosage goes. But the Algaway 5.4 is very, very effective. It's specifically really good at hair algae, that stringy algae. Usually it's going to develop mostly like around the edges of your pond first anyway, just because that's where it's shallowest and getting the most sunlight. So it's going to definitely control that string algae, and also single cell algae when you get that just green water effect. And maybe can't see specifically an algae, but your water is super green. This is also going to help clear that up as well. Again, not going to harm your ornamental fish or anything like that, but you do not want to use it if you're trying to keep snails, shrimp, other invertebrates like that in your pond. It's not going to be great for those. Fish and plants, perfectly fine. Invertebrates, no. So be aware of that before you drop that into your pond, especially if you've got a pond full of snails that you're not trying to kill off. But yeah, again, super effective. Now, one thing I will say, another thing you need to be aware of is that because it is pulling the algae out, especially if you have that green water or a really bad infestation of that hair algae, you're gonna want to make sure your pond is well oxygenated. Reason being is it's gonna basically just zap all that algae, and that's going to basically not suck all the oxygen out of your pond, but the oxygen in your pond is going to reduce down to a pretty low level if you don't have some sort of surface agitation, a fountain, waterfall, bubbler, anything like that. A combination of all of those things is great. The more surface movement you can have on your pond, even if it's just extra while you're dosing the Algaway 5.4, it is pretty important to keep your surface moving. But again, very, very effective. So, speaking of very, very effective, something that is really like a tried and true are the barley methods. Now, I'm not going to go into these in like super depth, but barley straw is really well known for its algae prevention properties, I suppose, and honestly, a lot more than that. It's for a long time been used to just maintain a good environment as far as like your bacteria's pond clarity, algae reduction. People have been using barley straw for quite a while for that. Now, a lot of times we have these like bales. We don't carry them anymore because we have these pellets and the extract. But a lot of times people just toss barley straw bales into the pond and let them sink or float, and that kind of can end up in a disaster. So these are way better. So it is basically an environmentally responsible, cost-effective pond conditioner that is easy, natural, and organic in its approach to a healthy pond environment. It basically is going to kind of not mimic, but do essentially the same thing as your PLs and buffers and things of that nature in a more natural fashion. It's going to go to work on contact as far as being a benefit and breaking down the things that are going to produce algae. It releases decomposition byproducts immediately. It's not harmful to pets, again, humans, your fish, the plants. It's going to be perfectly fine for that. You can use, I really like using the liquid because it's a concentrate. It can actually just be a dosing for you instead of leaving anything in your pond to decompose, which essentially is what you're doing with the barley straw pellets. You're going to drop the pellets into the pond. They're going to decompose in the pond and then produce these effects. With the concentrate, you don't have anything decomposing in your pond, which sounds bad. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I personally find the extract to be a lot easier to deal with, but a lot of people really like the pellets, or were used to the bales and got converted over to the pellets and haven't quite gotten to the extract yet. But excuse me. One catful of that concentrate is actually equal to like multiple of those barley bales. So again, it's a little easier to deal with. And again, these can be used year-round, just like the accompanying other Microbe-Lift products. So this is also going to kind of buffer your pH a little as well, which in Indiana can be good and bad. In a smaller pond setting, it could fluctuate your pH a little too much if you're not being careful. So just watch out for that. Slow, small fluctuations, if you're using it on a consistent basis, are totally fine. But just be aware that in a smaller pond setting, you should watch your water chemistry as far as your pH goes. And then I think that just leaves us with the last one here. That is going to be the autumn winter prep. Now we're not going to need this for a little while. I usually start this in, I don't know, late August, early September here in Indiana. And it's going to be a combination of things. It's going to be a liquid and packets like the spring summer cleaner is. Those little enzyme packets, kind of like a powder. You just toss the whole thing into the pond, and it's water soluble and just breaks down in there for you. But the autumn winter prep contains cold weather strains of bacteria that, if frozen, will actually remain effective after thawing out. It's also effective in darker conditions. A lot of these bacteria need a light cycle, but if the pond is covered in snow, or some people just put a cover over their pond in general, which you've got to do carefully, but that is another discussion for a different video, I suppose. But yeah, they're effective in dark conditions and are, again, specifically made to weather the winter as far as the bacteria go, which is kind of why we switch over to the autumn winter prep from the PL. And again, we basically just rinse and repeat that every year. Once spring hits, we're gonna hit up the spring summer cleaner. Follow that up with your Microbe-Lift PL. If you're having any issues with algae or an accumulation of sludge, or if you have large stones on the bottom of your pond, definitely grab Sludge Away and Algaway 5.4. If you want to go all natural, again, very effective. You can just be using the barley straw extract, and I typically am. I'm typically using PL with that as well, honestly. And if I end up with any issues, I'm following up with Sludge Away and Algaway 5.4 if I'm using the barley straw. Me personally, I'm using the full bacteria cycle with the PL and the seasonal preps. That's what I highly recommend doing. Is your full accompaniment, the PL and the preps. And then again, if you're having issues, hitting up with the Sludge Away or the Algaway 5.4. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been my spiel on Microbe-Lift pond products. I see that I don't have any comments or questions in the chat, so we are going to wrap this up. Whether you are watching this live or not, please feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and I will be happy to answer those for you. And also, check out the end of this video, not if you're watching this live, but check out the end of this video for the cards, and I will show you a few of our pond videos. That'll probably be up tomorrow. So yeah, again, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. If you want to find us on other social media outlets, I highly recommend starting off with TheReefIndy.com. You can actually purchase some items from us. It's not the entire contents of our store, our brick and mortar, that is. But we've got a lot of hardscape, what you see, what you get hardscapes, rocks, driftwood, Green Pleco plushies, Neptune systems, Bashy equipment, Aquatop canisters. Check that out. You can book a service with us online through our services. One of my favorite features is the in stock. That's updated every Friday. Gives you a full list of what's new. It's not a full stock list. I mean, check out how long this is, y'all. This is just from last week. And again, we update this every Friday. And more things to check out. The blog, we've got a few things up there looking great. You can also go to our careers section and fill out an application. And yes, we are currently hiring. If you have sent in an application, we have seen it. And if you'd like to give the shop a call and check on that, you absolutely can. But we also, every time we have a position open up, do make that public knowledge as well. So if you're hearing about this for the first time, go ahead and apply, and let's see if we can get you in here, y'all. Also, in your venture through the internet, check out our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course the rest of our content here on YouTube. We've got quite a bit of it. So again, thanks for hanging out, guys. And we will see you next Tuesday. If I don't see you Friday on Facebook, we go live every Friday on our Facebook page to check out what is new in both the saltwater, freshwater, and product departments. So, yeah, I will see you very soon. Thanks for hanging out, everyone.